first and foremost, I'd like to welcome Skeleton Crew here today. Thank you all for joining me.
Nice. Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
no problem at all. First question, very generic, is how's everybody doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty bad, really. We just had a show last night for my birthday show, and we didn't get home till very late, and then the dog woke me up early, so I need a nap.
Same thing happened to me. I got home at 5. I got to bed at 5, and the dog woke me up at 8:30, and I had to get out and walk it. Otherwise, she'd crap all over my girlfriend's house. So.
Yep. I got to bed at 5 too, and
Everyone's complaining about sleep depravity.
I'm with you.
not me. I've had my coffee. It's kicking in.
I'm still.
I tossed and turned till 6 o'clock in the morning last night, so I'm pretty tired myself.
You didn't have to be nervous and for us. We were okay.
Yeah. I just have no idea. I laid down and I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm feeling tired. I'm like, oh, I'm going to fall right asleep. Yeah, it didn't happen until 6 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up at 9, and I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I'm ready to go. 3 hours of sleep is better than 0.
I woke up at 12:30 and said, oh shit, I got to call up and do the interview.
Yeah.
I had to make sure I had my coffee first, though. That's my morning ritual.
For me,
I'm still pretty stoked. We're stoked about our show we had last night. The house was packed. It was standing room only. So very happy about that.
Yeah, there's pictures up of how packed the place was.
Yeah.
Everybody showed up. We love you guys, and thank you guys so much for making it. We got nothing but love and honor for you guys. So thank you.
Awesome. It seems like you guys had a good time at that show last night, man. I saw the lead singer's Gregory, right? I'm just trying to double check.
Yes.
Your birthday show, yeah. I seen Cam posting it all up on Facebook. I thought that was really cool. And I also said to myself, I was like, well, they're going to be on here the next day, man. So hopefully they're not partying too hard. But you guys seem ready to rock and roll one way or the other, and that's awesome.
I always 2 beers, though.
I wish I could say that.
So, the first question, the real first question is, when did Skeleton Crew form?
I'm gonna let Cameron or Dave answer that question because they actually approached me. So, go ahead, you guys.
Yeah, David and I started. We started putting the band together. What was it, around 2018? You and our original bass player Pat, and and a girlfriend I was with at the time happened to like to go to shows and knew David and he was always at shows and introduced me and we liked each other's vibe from the first time.
Yes, I did. There was other drummers, of course, we checked out, but I felt very comfortable creating around Cam. And Cam Shaft has like the ultimate image, easy guy to talk to. I felt real comfortable being around him, and also I told the bassist, I said, Cam Shaft should be our guy, man. I got nothing but love and respect for Cam, and he fits us perfectly. We have great harmony with Cam. I think he's our guy. And the bass player said, okay.
Cool. And then when we were trying out lead singers. David calls me up the next day and says, hey, I met this singer named Greg Hill. Have you ever heard of him? I'm all, yeah, isn't that the guy from Band Damage? And I'm like, and he's like, yeah, and David was like, well, he's interested in working with me on a project. And I said, well, there's our lead singer right there. Get him. That guy's
awesome.
awesome.
I got the riot act from both Cam Shaft and the bass player because I had somebody I already had committed to come in for a tryout, and they're like, what are you doing? Do you know who Greg Hill is? He's played in front of like Kirk Hammett, Metallica, Queensryche, Michael Schenker, UFO. You don't let this guy go. He's a badass. Get Greg in there. What are you doing? What's the matter with you? So we checked. We don't want to lose this guy. So we and the other guy, and thank God Greg Hill wasn't snagged up yet then or whatever, and we got an original project going with him, and it's all working out really good so far.
Yeah, I didn't actually meet Greg in person until like 5 years after seeing him on stage. His old band was opening for Queensryche, and I remember just being really impressed with it. And he came out, he was like wearing a T-shirt and handcuffs, and and he just had the stage vibe, and I was like, wow, who's that guy? And it occurred to me that 5 years later he'd be in our band.
That's awesome. Awesome. What band was Greg Hill in, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I was in a band called Damage. We did an album on Par Records, which was later bought by Roadrunner and then distributed by Virgin Records and distributed all throughout the UK and Greece and all over Europe through bad contractual rights. It didn't get distributed in America, which was really bad because it was basically a cult album, and we had a lot of good songs on there. And actually, our guitarist we have in the band now, Vic, actually was in Damage back in the 80s when we were playing the club scenes around the Bay Area. So, but we had moderate success, back in the day with Damage. It's called DAMMAJ, and you can find, and you put Damage and Mutiny into your YouTube search, and you'll find the whole album for free. Take a listen to it. You can hear me way back when. But, yeah, and then, I met these guys. I think one night I met Dave and Cameron and Pat, our original bass player, and they had the vibe, they had the look. And I said, yeah, I could join you guys and do what I can do to help us, move forward and have a good band.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. You said Roadrunner Records, which is interesting because the next interview I have coming up, which is next week, is with a band off of Roadrunner Records, Crimson Glory. I don't know if you've heard of them before.
I don't think I have.
They were around a lot in the 80s. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. But
I remember when we were doing that thing, Par Records and Roadrunner had this thing with I think it was called Mirage or something like that. Remember those guys?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But anyway, it was a good experience just to get your feet wet and everything. But we didn't tour because they couldn't come up with the funds to have us go. And it's the same year Metallica went over to Europe. So, it's a long time ago now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the song Damage was actually, not the song, the song Boneyard was originally recorded as a Damage song and was actually written by our guitarist Vic when he was in Damage. So there's actually another version of the song out there somewhere.
There's some legacy involved, right? So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Passing it off from one band to another.
Gotta make sure I cover all that ground.
yeah.
Speaking of releases of Skeleton Crew music, Snake's Bite, is your newest release. Can you talk about any of the inspiration you had behind that song and the process of making it?
Well, one day we were down thinking, we got to write a song. Because, we've had all these songs we've been playing for a while. And I don't know, I don't even know who said, listen to this. And we just started forming the song. And then for some reason I had in my head a story about, I don't know if you guys remember one time, I think it was a Tom Jones song a long time ago about a snake that was in bad health and somebody brought it in and then they nursed it back to health and then the snake bit the person and that person died or whatever. I can't remember the name of the song. But then also I kind of like said, what about Adam and Eve and temptation? And I put it all together. So it's really about temptation and how deceitful a snake can be. And a snake can be anything. It could be a man, it could be a woman, it could be a friend. That's basically where it came from.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I was sent over a snippet of your newest song. I don't remember the titling of it. I listened to that. That was pretty good as well. I think so far I've heard all of your music that was sent over to me, I believe, by Cam. And Snake's Bite so far is definitely the favorite for sure.
All right, nice. Cool. We're really proud of it. We on that song we have Lauren Gold from the Who in Chicago playing the Hammond B3 in the background there, and it gives it that ballsy, deep purple sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really proud of that work. It's probably some of my best work in a long time.
I actually, from your music, I love the vibe of it. I get like this like hair metal-ish vibe from Skeleton Crew, and it was kind of funny. A couple weeks back, we had a listener in the chat. Cam was there as well, and as Skeleton Crew was playing, like getting ready to play, he goes, "Oh, we need more hair metal bands out there." And then Cam's like, "Oh, guess what? Here you go."
Yeah, we're not a hair metal band on purpose. We just grew up listening to that kind of music, and so it's in our blood.
Yeah, it is. Metal's in our blood. You know, we also, I don't know if you've heard the Vampire Dancer. We also have a little quirky sense to us that, we like a little party music too.
Yeah.
Little punk, little party.
We like rock and roll, little punk. Oh, punk's my other thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've only heard that song, I think once or twice, Vampire Dancer. I think the biggest one I've been playing, I think it's called Black Rose, right? Let me just...
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
Black Rose.
I see...
It's always a crowd pleaser.
I've noticed myself giving that song a bit more of airplay now that Snake's Bite's out, so that one I'm giving the fair share of airplay to, of course. But today's, what I just played before was Boneyard, Snake's Bite, and Till Death. I mean, I don't know. I think from all I've heard, which is, I believe, like 5 or 6 songs, there's no misses. They're all good. They're all really good. And as soon as it was Cam who goes, he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for an interview over here for Skeleton Crew." I was like, "Yeah, I'll take you right away. No problem."
There you go.
Good music, man, so I love it.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, and I hope we have another million people to enjoy it, so I can actually go to my grave with a gold record.
Yeah.
That's the goal, anyway.
Yeah. And I only got a couple years left, right?
Stop it.
You got another 40, 50 in you, if you
His
believe.
birthday was yesterday. That's
There you go.
Yeah, he'd be like Keith Richards, where there's no expiration date.
he finally turned 21.
I mean, I was really thinking about being called skeleton because the older we get, the more we look like skeletons. So we're never too old to be in the Skeleton Crew.
Exactly.
Speak for yourself, mate.
I didn't say we're all old. I said the older we get, the more we look like.
Actually, no, we all look
skeletons.
We all look pretty great, actually.
Yeah.
We're pretty decent for our
Thanks,
age.
Cam.
That's for the elders.
We look pretty
Just being
decent for
honest.
our age.
Rock and roll keeps you young.
That's right.
Absolutely, absolutely. My next question I have for you here is, what is your favorite part of doing music?
That's a good question.
That's a very good
For me, it's probably like
Intelligent people always say that. That's a good question.
My time.
Probably for me, it's like when we're writing a song and I know it's something really special and I really feel it. It's like that to me is the gratification right then and there. I don't need an audience. I just that's just me. When I hear something really good, like when we wrote Snake's Bite, Cam just came up with a bass drum, boom, 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 and I had a beat, rhythm in my head, so I played it. I played the song, and we wrote that song in one practice. And Greg, when he feels it too, our energy transfers to other people. So Greg had that energy transfer to him, and he just started writing these insane killer lyrics. And by the end of the practice, there it was. Boom.
Yeah. I feel, what's up, sorry?
So to me, that's gratification. That's what keeps me going. It's just coming up with cool riffs, coming up with cool, things like that. I don't need an audience. It's great. I love it, but it's, to me, that's the end all. Knowing that there's something that's unique, kind of different that nobody else has done before, that's gratification to me.
Yeah, for me, I was basically born into music. My mother was a choir singer at her church, and I was actually raised around classical music, which is why I like melodic stuff. And music is a way to express yourself. It's it gets you through some of the roughest times in life. You can always turn to it. And my idea of playing in bands and recording and putting music out there is to kind of give back to what the bands before me and in the 80s gave to me during that time. Give it back to the younger generation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that sentiment you just said with basically music being a very powerful thing that you can always turn to. And I think that's, part of the reason why I do what I do is because it's just being able to play music for not only myself but for people, and they can find all sorts of different stuff that they can get into, man, because there's been plenty of times in my life where music has basically saved me from a lot of issues that has happened to me personally.
Likewise. That song,
Yeah.
Till Death, you mentioned too, you played Till Death. That song was kind of influenced by when I went to Nashville. I was going through like a 31-year breakup. Divorced. We were together for a very, very long time. Basically my first girlfriend. So my whole world was kind of ending. I went to Nashville and I kind of picked up a guy named Tennessee Jet Vibes in a little tiny club playing in front of 20 people. It was powerful. That powerful Nashville energy got transferred to me. I came back and the lyrics, the opening lyrics got a lot of weight on Gravitate. Some of the lyrics came to me. And then Greg came in and kicked ass and, came up with some awesome killer lyrics. So that music, that song came from, basically was influenced from that Nashville, painful feeling, going through a 31-year breakup.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's the first song we wrote together, wasn't it?
No, it was Skeletons in the Closet. That's the first song we wrote together. Yeah, it was Skeletons in the Closet is about some... During my breakup, I met some girl that was all this innocent, person, like, oh, I'm this sweet person, and then I saw some pictures of her from the past. I'm all, you're not no innocent person, you're a wildling, and it's like, it's kind of like that. Some girl pretending to be innocent, but you got these serious skeletons in your closet.
Yeah.
And I know the skeleton in the closet. I know who you are. So basically, it's about that. It's about some kind of a seriously wild thing that you're not who you claim or you're trying to be something that you're not really or something, but it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Hey, David, did you want to tell the story behind Love Running Wild or not?
Love Running
Okay,
Wild is
okay,
Well, about writing music, you guys, I've been doing it since the 70s, a long time, and I think it's a really hard thing to actually be in a band that writes original music, because it's really hard to break into and actually be successful. And you can play all the covers you want and go out and play cover gigs at weddings and everything. And I've been doing it for a long time. It's you have to do it because you feel it in your soul, and you want to create something new. You want to paint a picture for your audience, and that's the satisfaction I get when I actually see that people relate to what we're talking about, or just the vibe of the song, like it's a party song or it's a depressing song or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's the satisfaction I get out of it.
Yeah. Relatable music, I think, very much resonates well with a lot of people, including myself. Depending on obviously circumstances, but I think for me, I went through some girl troubles. I was telling Cam about it last week in the chat room, and a lot of that was just me turning to music and having to hear certain things from certain people's perspectives and other stuff like that. And over the course of time, that was also a big addition to helping me get back on my feet completely.
Yeah, it's not the first time we've heard that.
Totally.
It's just music can like soothe your soul when you're not up.
Yeah.
It helps you get up.
Yep, and Greg's good at getting the audience going. He gets the audience all included in everything, and goes out there, gets everybody clapping, and gets everyone dancing.
He's very good at getting the audience up.
Yeah. I mean, hey, man. It's good. Same thing with when I talk relatable. I mean, vibe, like music for vibes. I mean, the radio station I own and operate is Vibe Tunes Radio, you know. So I always try to fit the vibes, you know, that party feeling. Like, I may not be able to see who's listening, like, in person, like, face to face, but I know if I'm playing some good stuff, man, I know I got a couple of people jumping up and down, doing some dancing, having a good time for sure. And, you know, to be able to put that impact on people is honestly amazing. And knowing too that people like you guys, Skeleton Crew, and many of other bands can do that for people, you know, help uplift people, you know, it's honestly just an amazing thing. And it's just a circle of positivity that I really love being involved in myself.
We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No problem at all.
One of the things about Skeleton Crew is we're not really tied into one genre. So that's the biggest compliments we get at our shows is that, oh, you played this style. Oh, you played that style. You played reggae. You played punk. You played rock and roll. You played metal. You know, we're not locked into one style. And hopefully, every song we play just makes somebody happy. You know, you can't please everybody. But
Yeah.
you can please somebody.
Life's too short to be sad.
For sure. Diversity in music is also something I'm a big advocate for. And when I talk to bands and they're like, oh man, we don't like to stick into one sound, you know, we got this sound and we got this one, and like I love to hear that, because again, I keep calling myself back as the DJ because I'm not in a band. I don't make music. I can write music, but I sure as hell can't sing. But you know, as a DJ too, it's all about diversity with music and variety, you know, and giving people different sounds to hear. And I love when bands say like, oh, we're not tied to one specific genre. We're, you know, we have a different sound every song. And I do notice that, obviously, with Skeleton Crew as well. So, I mean, it's killer, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, when I got together with Dave, that's the first thing I told him. I said, I don't want your guitar to sound the same every song. I don't want every song to sound the same. You know, let's just explore different, you know, experiment with different things and try and do different things. And so far he's bought into it, and the rest of the band's bought into it. And we have a good chemistry, so I'm really happy with these guys.
Yeah.
We're happy with you too. Yeah, I love all styles of music, so that's good. I love Muse. I love Evanescence. I love it all.
Yeah. I'm very, I love pretty much everything but black metal. Other than that, I mean, you take that out of the equation, pretty much all rock and metal stuff, man, I'm playing on air. I'm playing, you know, just during my workouts and stuff. I've put some Skeleton Crew on during the workouts. Boneyard, that was the one song. Because when I have the, I don't know the name.
Big song, hey.
Yeah, there we go. You're a star, Vic.
Hey, you should load up that Damage Mutiny album if you want to work out. I've been told that it's a great workout album. It's it's metal. It's metal from the 80s.
Yeah.
We do Smuggler from that one. And we do Smuggler and we do Leathermaster from that album. So it's some history we put into the whole set.
Smuggler's an old song, right? Very old song.
Old song.
Resurrected that one.
Resurrected.
For sure, I definitely will be throwing that into the workout playlist, but since you brought up Damage and everything else, I think it's only fair that I load it into the radio playlist for my shows as well, man.
Oh, why not?
Gives people some good stuff.
You gotta check out Leathermaster, because that's Greg's title, actually.
Ah!
Shit.
Stage title.
I don't know. You guys turned it into Donut Master. I don't know where that came from.
I'm to blame for that.
I mean, if you need a pizza master, I'm here. I like my pizza, so.
You know, that's a funny thing you say that. That's a funny thing you said. Last night we got home about 2 o'clock after the show, and my throat's a little rough too right now. But anyway, at 2 o'clock, me and my son and his girlfriend and my wife, they're standing around. And they're, I'm hungry. Okay, well, I just made some nice pizza dough, so I fired up the pizza oven, and we had one pesto and mozzarella with cardamom olives on it. That was one piece, and the next one was a red pie that had salami and pepperoni and prosciutto, and it was a thin and Neapolitan pizza, and we sat there and ate it, and it was so good.
I mean, being from.
What am I talking about?
Music.
About music.
That's interesting. I had leftover donuts from the show.
You shouldn't eat those. They make you fat. Cameron needs some weight.
Yeah, I know. I work it off though.
That's great.
For
Yeah, he does. It's good about being a drummer.
being.
But nothing like New York pizza though, or is there pizza in New Jersey?
Oh, absolutely, man. We got the best pizza out here, and I will advertise. I was getting ready to say that.
Where's your favorite place in New Jersey? Because I want to go to the East Coast again. I ate that one famous one down by Greenwich Village. It's Johnny's or something like that. I forget, but I ate there, and the pizza was pretty darn good. Now I gotta go over to New Jersey and have some pizza.
I mean, as far as what's local, like to me, I mean, there's some really good stuff, but I mean, all the good stuff is in like central New Jersey, and I know this one place I had it years ago, but it was so good that like, you know, I still think about this pizza when I go to bed. It's DeLucia's. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly. I will.
Text me that one, because we're going to go out to the East Coast pretty soon, just a vacation.
We should have a little tour out there.
And
I wish we can find the right people to finance us. We're there. At least give us 3 or 4 gigs.
yeah, I mean, I know of some gigs going on. I think there's one going on in July. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Over here in Jersey. That's over in I don't remember. I know the name of the venue. I just don't remember what town it's in. But yeah, I don't know any other venues that are going on though right now, or any other shows. I mean.
Yeah, we're always open to offers, and we're ready to go. We're ready to go. We got a good 90-minute show and solid, and we can rock the crowd.
So that also kind of brings me to like my next question here. Is there any live shows you got coming up anytime soon?
Yes, a whole bunch of them actually.
Oh shit.
When is our next one is in Sacramento. What's it, Goldfields?
Goldfields, yeah. That's a good one. We got the state fair coming up.
Yeah, that's what we got. We got
Yeah.
a week after Sacramento in Redwood City.
Alameda County Fair.
Alameda County.
I don't have the dates in front of me. Santa Cruz.
Yeah, Blue Lagoon. That's a good one.
Yeah.
We're going there. Looking forward to going.
Santa Cruz. Don't forget Santa Cruz, California.
Blue Lagoon, June 7th in Santa Cruz.
Nice. The Blue Lagoon.
We'll be playing with my favorite local band there. Those guys are awesome. I love that band. So looking forward to that one especially.
Yep, they're actually playing tonight in Crockett.
Yeah. Seeming like you.
They came out and supported us last night. Shout out to them for coming out.
That's a shit.
Seems like you got a little bit of a packed schedule going on. That's awesome, man. I love to hear it.
Yeah, the Alameda County Fair. That's like the last week in June, right?
No, I think it's mid-July. No, Alameda County Fair is June 26th. Oh, is it? Oh, June. Okay, 26th. Yeah, there goes my trip to Hawaii. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. You know, your trip to Hawaii can wait.
Hawaii will always be there.
Exactly.
Hawaii will always be there, but opportunities aren't always. But
Absolutely. All right. I got another good question for you. I got two more, actually. You answered one of my questions earlier with the new music. You told me about that. Any bands that inspired the creation of Skeleton Crew?
Wow, that's a hard one.
yeah, I many bands.
Yeah.
I'm sure each one of us.
Yeah, you know, like,
Well, it was this
there's so many that,
list, so.
my early influences were like, you know, the Stones and the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd. So it's all over and then I was into Motown and I was into, basically everything, you know.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. Not country though, sorry. Although I did like Hank Williams.
I actually love country. I love Jason Aldean. I love country. Till Death has a touch of country you could possibly hear in it.
Nah. I'm talking like Hank Williams. That was and Johnny Cash. You know.
Yeah.
Those guys in the country. Yeah, Jason Aldean's like a pop star.
Well, I love it all. I love it all.
Yeah, as far as drummers go, I was in, as you can all tell by my kit that I was influenced by Led Zeppelin's John Bonham, and then Neil Peart of Rush. I'm a big Rush fan, and of course Pink Floyd. I'm a Who fan, and that actually vibes well with Greg because he and I are both Quadrophenia fans.
Oh yeah, the Who.
For me, I was for country and western, I was into like Jimmy Bryant, Speedy West for the LA West Coast swing. So yeah, I do have a Telecaster in my collection.
You didn't mention Leonard Hayes. Can't remember.
Leonard, yeah.
Leonard Hayes from Lion D had the best foot in rock and roll.
Okay, now getting into drummers that aren't as well known, I like Gilmore from Triumph. When I listen back to old Triumph tunes, I'm like, I realize I subconsciously picked up a lot of his hits and beats, and then there's Jason Bonham, son of John Bonham, Led Zeppelin, and Cozy Powell, and
all the regular drummers that we from the 80s that
Nickel.
Enjoyed.
Nickel McBrain. I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Nice.
And of course, I grew up with hair metal, and so when I first started wanting to start a band, like the early part of the '90s, I was so big into Dokken and George Lynch.
Nice. Yeah, Dokken's great, man. I love Dokken.
Dokken, Queen's right, Tesla.
Yeah. A lot of people get surprised when I say my favorite band's Metallica. I've had this conversation with so many people, and they always ask me, they're like, your favorite band's Metallica? I'm like, yeah. They're like, how do you feel about the Saint Anger album and up? And I'm like, well, it's not too good, but you know what? They had some really, really good stuff out back in the day, and I definitely appreciate, the stuff that they've put out for sure.
Yeah, those first 4 albums of theirs, those were untouchable. And of course I like all Slayer too.
Yeah, Slayer was good.
Even the one that people said was a weak album, Fireball for Music, or I like that one.
Ride the Lightning's one of my all-time favorite albums. I love Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls.
That's the one that got me into the album. Fight Fire with Fire.
I've gotten ridiculed for saying the self-titled or the Black album's my favorite. I mean, it came a little bit later, and I think that was honestly probably the last good one they put out, and then Saint Anger onwards. I mean, they have some of their newer stuff is all right, but I mean, it's just not like Metallica. It's like watered down. And having them watered down is not too good for sure. They were pretty heavy back then. But
It's in the truck.
Yeah, San Francisco was their hometown and all that. I just remember telling my ex when I saw Michael Shank at the Rock Bar, go, Kirk Hamnett's going to be at this show and he's going to sit right next to us. I told her that, and guess who sat right next to us?
Kirk
Hammett sat right next to us. One reason, because not that I'm psychic or anything, but we had the, VIP area, and I knew he was a huge Michael Schenker fan, so I knew I was thinking he's going to probably be right around that area, and he was right next to us, and he gave him knuckles, my ex shook his hand, and all that fun stuff, so, got a cool meeting, Kurt.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
David has some wild stories like that.
Yeah, I mean, I
No idea.
haven't met anybody too famous in the rock and metal industry. One of these days, I mean, I'm in a conversation right now with a band for an interview, which is, they're really big. But other than that, I haven't met anybody like face to face, man. And it would be a goal of mine for sure to meet Hetfield. I really like Hetfield. He's definitely my favorite person out of Metallica. And I've actually had some stories, like my friends have went over to Colorado where he stays at, and they sat outside his house waiting for him to come outside, and they got escorted off by security and everything else. So
That's hilarious. Yeah, David and I actually, we got pretty close to Tracy Guns at a show one time. We were like reaching up and pretending like we were going to play with his guitar neck while he was doing a solo. And then a couple nights after that, I actually ended up, I think he remembered me because he was walking off the stage and he high-fived me.
awesome.
Yeah, I have a story to tell you. Last night when we were playing Killed by Death by Motorhead.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the story about when I opened for Motorhead back in, I don't know, about 81 or something like that. And Lemmy says, he looks at my band Damage, he goes, after we got done with our sound check, he goes, what are you, a bunch of pretty boys? And then if you listen to the lyrics to Killed by Death, he says, I ain't no lonely loser. He says ligger, which means like a loser. And I ain't no pretty boy. So I just remembered that last night. It's kind of a little backstory on the Killed by Death.
I thought you were joking about that. That's really cool. I thought that was a joke.
No, it was for real. He said, what are you guys, a bunch of pretty boys? We had braces on when we were much younger. And, we had, the flashy, I don't know what you call it, metal when you were kind of, had big hair and all that stuff, hair metal or whatever. And then here he is with his denim and leather and screaming three-piece hard rock, I call it, metal. And, he goes, a bunch of pretty boys. I said, I'm singing that lyric and I'm just laughing at it every time I sing it.
Wow, that's a good story.
Yeah.
Since it's real.
That's a really good story, man. That's fucking crazy for sure. I mean, meeting Lemmy then and being connected with him as well is crazy too, man. Yeah, it's fucking, that is absolutely awesome, bro.
Another backstory too, you're talking about Metallica. Kirk Hammett was in a band called Exodus.
Yeah.
Way back when, and they used to open up for Damage.
Oh shit. Man.
Yeah, that's how, but Metallica, they went over to Europe and we didn't get the funding and we didn't go, so, look at, they took off like you wouldn't believe it, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
They also influenced by one of Damage's songs. I think it was, what was it, Leathermaster? They were influenced by one of your songs. One of their songs sounds like a Damage song. Which song is that?
Well, it's just that Bay Area sound, really. A lot of riffs, guitars traded back and forth, and I'm not going to say that, somebody copied something we did. Every song's ever been written has already been written.
yeah.
I'd say it was influence, heavy influence in one of those Metallica songs.
Yeah. So, maybe my guitars heard Hammond play something. Who knows?
For sure. Anyhow, I got one more song. I'm so used to DJing. One more question for you here. And this one, I think you've said, this is a hard question. I got you with a really hard one here. If you had to pick a favorite song from Skeleton Crew, what song would it be?
Ooh. Yep, yep, yep. You're hitting. Which I'm going to Victor after the answer to this one.
Probably the ones we haven't written yet.
There you go. Or you haven't heard it. Favorite song? Wow, that's really hard, don't you think, Dave?
Yeah, if I was forced to put in a box, a couple of little things. If I had to say one, I mean, I absolutely love Snake's Bite. But Black Rose is kind of unique.
Mm-hmm.
It's really to me, Black Rose is probably one of our most unique songs. You know, I don't
even know. I can't believe it.
It's hard to answer that question.
Yeah, it's hard.
I love how Snake's Bite came out a recording. I love it so.
The production is really good. Yeah, and having my brother-in-law play the keyboards on it. Actually, the song coming out next month, My Girl. And we also have Lauren Gold from The Who playing keyboards on it, but more synthesizers. And it's really in a Y&T vein, party music, and actually I kind of really like that one a lot. It's hard to say. If you go back in our songs that we put out, I like Till Death. I like the rawness of it. God, it's hard to pick a favorite.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. My Girl's is girl friendly. Let's put that way.
Yeah, mine was girl friendly, so I might have to go with that one.
I'm proud of how we harmonized on it vocally. I think we did a great job there.
Yeah.
And tell you the truth, I think my favorite Skeleton Crew song is, and I love them all, but I really like Love Running Wild. I mean, that's the way it's put together, and it's such an epic song.
I can't get all the details about it. I would get my ex-boss.
We won't go into that, Dave. I'll leave that one alone.
It's basically about a menage a trois that went bad, a lover's triangle that went kind of bad. So it's kind of about a girl that, she's a girl that goes out and she's really hot, but she goes out with loser guys, and when a hot girl goes out with loser guys, sometimes they go ballistic because they're used to driving beat up old Volkswagen. All of a sudden now they got a brand new Lamborghini and they just go head over heels, and so it's about don't sell yourself short, especially to loser guys, because they're gonna go crazy over you. And it's kind of about that.
Absolutely, that's a good meaning.
Hot buttered, boss slaughtered. It's kind of I can't really get into all the details. I don't want to get somebody in serious trouble. So
yeah, I get that.
I wasn't even gonna tell that much.
Yeah, let it go.
Yeah, when I ask bands, I say pick a song out of all the music you wrote. Give me a favorite. It's always I get that a lot. So and I always make sure.
It depends what mood you're in. If you're in a mood for that song or that song, then that's your favorite at the moment. We're very fickle. We're musicians.
I like to ask that question just to get people, just to get the bands thinking. Maybe or maybe sometimes too. I've had it where I'm like, "What's your favorite song?" Boom, instantly they just give me, what song that they like the best is. I'm like, wow, that was quick. Usually this is a harder question, but I don't know. I like asking that question usually at the end of interviews as well, just to see everybody's different viewpoints and interest in specific songs, I guess.
That's a good question. All your questions are good.
But speaking of questions, I'm all out of them. So the big thing is you guys came here for the interview, and I cannot appreciate you all. I appreciate you guys a lot, man, for this. This was a really good interview. Anything you would like to say about Skeleton Crew or anything crazy, not too crazy, floor is yours to say what you got to say.
Sorry, our bass player couldn't make it here today. Got a lot of love and respect for him. I worked in a band with him about 20 years ago. We the first time I met him, we're jamming with, they wanted this hot guitarist girl in there, and he said no, and they kicked him out for it, and how they did it was really uncool, so I said, I walked out with him. I said, this is uncool what you guys did, so I had his back and walked out, and now here we are. He's our new bass player. I jammed from a long time ago. Really awesome brother. We're really fortunate working with him too. So
yeah, he really vibes well with that. The chemistry.
He vibes really well with us. He's got a great image, great bass tone. He fits us really, really well. He's
been
really
him.
guy to work with. Yeah, I've worked with him for many, many years. And, really excited and glad having him back and everything.
Yeah, and from a rhythm section point of view, me being the drummer, he and I walk in pretty well together.
Yeah.
It's like we walk in perfectly together.
Yeah, you guys sound really good together.
I love his bass playing on Love Running Wild. He does it like it's kind of a little slower version where it's a little slower and a little more heavy.
Mm.
Yeah.
I keep bringing that song up. I just like that song a lot.
Yeah.
It's a good song. I love them all. It's hard to tell.
Absolutely.
The only reason I haven't sent it is, I think we can do a better version, a recorded version of it. But it is up on iTunes if you were curious and checking it out.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely give that is it over on Spotify as well, or is it only on iTunes?
It's on both.
Awesome. All right. I'll give that song a check out after the show, for sure.
Probably the biggest compliments we get is probably, like you said, Black Rose and Snake Bite. Those, to me, have been the biggest compliments so far, those two songs.
Awesome.
So far, yeah.
Yeah, Snake Bite is good, man. It definitely is my favorite at the moment.
It's interesting, I know a lot of rocker guys, their favorite song is Black Rose, which is surprising to me. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, you guys, thank you again for being here. I really do appreciate it. Did you guys enjoy the interview? Did I do a good job? That's what I should ask.
Yeah, I complimented you. I said you asked some good questions and all that, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. At least you guys are satisfied.
I want to thank you for playing the independent, unknown artists, people, just trying to get out there and get our names and, maybe sell some music and finance making some more music. So I really appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And
Definitely, we'd love to come out to New Jersey sometime. I'd love to have New Jersey pizza and also stop by Bon Jovi's restaurant, give him a little donation, tell him I think you're awesome for what you're doing there. I think he's a beautiful soul and he's a great artist too, so I'd love to go down to New Jersey sometime.
hey, man, you guys ever have any shows coming up in Jersey or doing anything special in Jersey? Shoot me a text. You know where to find me.
Absolutely.
Well, if you know anybody that wants the crew out there, shoot us a text and we'll come out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, get a hold of Bon Jovi and maybe we'll go play for his restaurant, his homeless restaurant. That'd be cool. Just have
Awesome.
him fly us out there and give us a cooked meal.
I'm sure he'd appreciate us coming out to his restaurant.
I sure appreciate me and him shaking his hand. He's really his actions reflect a beautiful soul legend. So I appreciate guys like him.
I'll sign an autograph for him.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Always
Awesome.
the comedian.
Awesome.
So he'd take some of his plaques down off the wall and put your autograph over that. I gotta make room for Gregory Hill's autograph here. Let me take down his multi-platinum album. Yeah, you go, slippery when wet.
Hell yeah.
I remember one time I got my picture taken between Roger Daltrey and Jimmy Page backstage at a Daltrey show at in Oakland, and some guy writes back, "Well, did you give him your autograph?" I thought that was pretty funny.
They were very honored to be in the middle of the legendary Gregory Hill. I love that picture. I love looking at that picture on his wall when we're practicing. It inspires me. That inspires me to help write good music and play better seeing a picture of him with those two. That was fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys again. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to get back to the show.